Yes, sir. We back. BlkPrint.
Man.
J5. Josh P's in the building. What's going on, Josh?
Second episode of the year?
No, it's like our third, actually.
It's crazy, second. Man. Like, year's flying by already.
I know, like January's almost over. We actually have done a lot in the past, like 3 weeks, literally.
Yeah.
Like we did the ASF, we did a regular episode, we did ThrowBLKs. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff, you know, popping off for us in the beginning of the year. It's a good clip because I literally just saw Josh like a week ago.
Yeah, like, I know. I mean, that's pretty much been our cadence before anyway. Yeah. So just getting back to it.
Yeah, we back in it. MC in the building. What's going on, MC?
Not much. I can't wait for our live stream era, fellas. You getting ready for that?
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm finding all types of like sound effects and shit that we're gonna be able to use. You know what I hate about like most like live stream podcasts now is that the host doesn't look at like they're not like next to each other. Like like on like Community and shit like that. He's like looking here and everybody's behind him.
Yeah.
And I just think that's just like weird. It's like it's like so impersonal to me.
Yeah. I don't know. The live streaming thing is still new to me.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about just like I don't know. Do people watch live or do they watch clips?
They watch live. They watch live. And I think if you build that community, they'll definitely come.
Okay.
But we got a special guest who's known for building his own community,
yes, sir.
Whether negative or positive. He's been a guest on our show on AMP, and this is our guest era of BlkPrint regular podcast, but we had to bring our homie Eddie Bansky. What's going on, brother?
Hey man, nothing much, man. Just Sunday, man. It's 0 degrees. It's been 0 degrees out here in New Jersey for about 2 weeks now. So sheesh. I'm just staying warm at home.
How's the dog? How's your dog handling it?
Yo, if you could see him right now, he's flopped over. You got dogs, so you know when they get that little bit of sun that peeks through the window, and then they just rotate with it throughout the day. Buddy's on like spot 3 right now.
That's hard.
And he's just enjoying the sun he can. You know what's crazy is he loves the snow.
No way.
He loves the snow. I bought him. I bought him in Las Vegas, so he's a Vegas dog.
Yeah.
He loves the snow. He hates the rain. He loves the snow. So when it snows, I just take him out. He dives in it. He's sniffing everywhere. He's peeing. He loves it. But we got another dog who's old, and he's just not with that at all. And they walk together. So one is on the wall, and when this dude is in the pile of snow, just diving through, making a mess.
It's weird because we both have French bulldogs. My Frenchies hate the rain. It's raining right now, so they haven't been outside in days. Like they don't like that shit at all. Like I feel bad because it's like I know y'all got to take a shit. And they'd be like, "No, I'm good. I can hold it."
You ever put a hoodie on them or something?
Exactly. Like they good with it. They don't like it.
Sick. Yo, you know how they do too. They'll just come look at you, and it's like, dog, you don't want to go out there, bro. I know what you're saying, but you don't want to go. And then, so I live in a building I'm on the 9th floor, so I have to go down.
Look at
elevator, lobby, the whole thing. He's he's excited the whole time. As soon as I open the door, he looks. He's like, "Oh, fuck." Like knows why I brought him. He'll literally pee right in front of the door and walk right back in. Like I told you, dumbass.
That's how it be. They'll be like boop, and then they'll like round shit right back up. So
then he's over it.
My hearts go out to the dogs that's in the rain in LA. My hearts go out to the dogs that's in 0 degree weather on the East Coast. It's crazy right now weather wise all over the world. I mean, it's a crazy winter so far. It's been a crazy year so far, like we mentioned at the top of the show. We just had an episode of ThrowBLKs come out.
Mm-hmm.
OutKast, Speakerbox Love Below. I don't know if you got a chance to listen to that bands. We walked through the whole album, their whole history, everything. Great episode.
Great episode. Yo. Great albums. I think it's funny. I was listening back to it, and J5 swears that he like gave Love Below its proper respect. But I'm like, you kind of shit on that album. Like you kind of shitted on that classic album.
I didn't.
It was a very much like,
You know what it was? Is I listened to it and I'm like, man, you did your man's wrong. And I think that's where it
and
is.
I just don't believe that's a narrative, man.
I always thought that.
All right, we talked about it on the show. If you haven't checked it out yet, please check it out. One of our best.
I'm gonna have to check it out. I gotta tell y'all, like, I love Spotify because Spotify will make me listen to music that I don't listen to all the time, and I'll literally find artists on Spotify like, yo, I had no clue. It kept spitting Aquemini at me, the song, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna listen. And I did a crazy OutKast deep dive over the last 2 weeks. And I had to text our friend, everybody's friend here, David Dennis, because he's been preaching OutKast to me for 100 years. And I was like, yo, you've been right. You've been right the whole time. Like, my bad. I fucked up. Yeah. And he's just like, yo, I'm gonna frame this, by the way.
There's a legitimate claim that they have probably some of the most classic albums of any rap artist ever.
Yeah, like, I mean, absolutely the greatest rap duo. Definitely one of the best rap group, top 5. I mean, you know, it's like Wu-Tang, them,
UGK to me,
NWA. Yeah, it's like only a few up there, but man, yeah, like it's funny that you mentioned like the algorithm spitting out things to you because I've been listening to a lot of Big X the Plug. Guy from Texas, this is gonna lead somewhere. And as I'm listening to him, like his album will go off, and then he'll always play me this guy. His name is Nephew. I think he's from Atlanta. Yeah. He has this record called So Fresh, So Clean.
Is it with an X? Nephew with an X?
Nah, Nephew, Nefew.
I've never heard of
Nephew. I don't know. Anyway, it always plays this song So Fresh, So Clean. He samples OutKast, obviously.
That's crazy.
It's a good little interpolation remix type thing from a new guy. Like I was like, okay, this is cool.
And again, like you saw Quavo and Takeoff sample them too 2 years ago.
On what record?
On their album.
Oh shit, I missed that.
They sample So Fresh, So Clean. Again,
I do remember that. You're right.
The influences are you know, they're wide ranging.
I was gonna say, I feel like people don't sample and reference them enough.
No,
they have a lot of classics. I think Wayne did a really good job of it early on in his mixtape era, but you don't really catch that too much.
It's one of those things where like you know, we're so antsy about you got to know the history of hip hop and all that shit, but the reality of that is like we miss stuff just growing up. Just like you miss entire acts. It's like, oh, I didn't. So I knew of OutKast. I knew of the bigger songs. I loved Elevators. I loved Miss Jackson. Everybody loved that Prototype.
Yeah, but
I never gave it its just my full attention until now as a grown ass man. And I was like, damn, like, and again, David been preaching OutKast to me since I met him. And I'm like, yeah, you was right. Them motherfuckers right there. Mm-hmm. Crazy. And the thing about them too is like, there is a little bit of dated to some of the music, but much like I think kind of early 90s West Coast, they use so much soul and kind of timeless instrumentation that like, yo, you can pick a lot of that up now and just rock with it. And
a lot of it's like Bootsy Collins inspired. A lot of it is Parliament inspired. Yeah. A lot of it is like old 70s like blaxploitation type shit inspired. It's like it's otherworldly, and I think that Speakerboxxx Love Below is, you know, it still brings that in, and we talk about that in the episode as well. But I feel like I gave it its just due. If you feel like I didn't give it its just due, hit me up. Hit us up on the Patreon.
Leave a comment.
Leave a comment. Let me know if I didn't leave them their just due, because I feel like I like the album, even though it does sound like a bunch of demos. It really does.
The Love Below? Yeah. I like that one better than Speakerboxxx, which is like,
thank you.
That was my whole, you know, I'm constantly the guy that's trying to go against the grain. So
that's
back in, I think that was senior year, I'm telling everybody like, yo, this one's better. I'm telling you guys. And I think it was Pink and Blue, and then the joint with what's the actress name?
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, Rosario. I was like, yo, these are the ones I'm telling y'all. And it's crazy looking back, like how much that changed music in a lot of weird ways.
That's exactly what we touched on in the episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it really did. But I got to get to a real staticky week, just in general. It's a lot of static going on in the industries that's going on right now. Have we seen this Kid Cudi Lupe Fiasco thing?
I mean, I've been seeing it for like the last 10 years. And I promise you, I've never understood it.
Yeah.
Beyond just like, niggas just don't like each other.
Yeah.
But Lupe Fiasco is so vocal about it and just so online about it. It almost feels like a troll job.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it's just his way of like trolling, honestly. But this week it kind of hit the fan.
It really did. I mean, it all started with I believe it was a Complex interview with Kid Cudi talking about when he was at Babe's store, he saw Lupe. He cut to the back just in case one day Lupe wanted to diss him about having a regular job.
That was where it came from.
This week. This week.
That's actually hilarious. Like hindsight, like or foresight.
Extremely like candid. Because, like, how did you foresee that you would have problems with this guy anyway? Like, because it was like...
He didn't like it. See, that's the thing. So, I don't know how the beef started.
Yeah.
But Lupe is probably right in his side of the beef.
Probably, yeah.
Because, like, for you to do that before we even knew each other, you must don't like me. And in your career, you must have hated on me in some way.
You had designs against me
Before I even knew who the fuck you were.
Exactly.
Like, trying to get a fucking camo jacket. Come on, man.
So, like, that interview sparks Lupe to be like, of course, fuck you, you a bitch ass nigga. You was just a bitch ass nigga with a regular job. All that shit going on. Cudi goes on Twitter and is like, hey, listen, my brother, kumbaya. Kumbaya, my brother. I have no problems. Lupe goes back and forth. Before I get to the conclusion of this, what were your thoughts on this when you saw it, Bance?
Dog, I was hoping, like the immature me was hoping that we didn't get a conclusion that we got. I'm like, yo, I hope this stays petty forever because it's clearly deep-seated and has been going on for ages. And y'all know, like, Lupe is like the karate guy and everybody like has this weird respect for him. Like, yo, he could probably beat us all up. And he runs around with a samurai knife. But like, and Cudi is like a pacifist. Is just like, yo, leave me alone. It's one of those things that I knew existed, but like for the pocket in my brain forgot it until he's calling him a bitch on my timeline. And I'm like, it's in group chats. I'm crying laughing at these. I took so many screenshots because you never know when you're just going to have to post like, oh, I'm so angry. I want to beat this bitch up right now. Well, you post that on the story.
You bring those tweets back when they have the picture of them together in the studio.
Yeah.
You put them side by side and you say, how do you go from this to this? It's like everyone's always like, look at these black men reconciling. You know what, man? I don't always want black men to reconcile. I don't always want that.
Like, shout out Ivan, and like, I get it. But I like the story better when Lupe is like, I'm calling his manager and I'm calling his mans, and they're sitting right next to him, but I can't get him on the phone. Fuck that guy. I like that version of the story better than them piecing it up because Ivan put him on FaceTime or whatever he did.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Even when Cudi apologized and Lupe was like, fuck that apology. Yeah. I was like, oh, he just really about it.
Like, even like it was like the weird awkwardness too. It was the Cudi posted a screenshot saying, I can't get in your DMs, bro. Like, I'm trying to DM you.
I don't see no DM. Fuck that DM. Shit's funny, yo.
So eventually they do get on the phone with each other. Cudi says they hash it out. I don't think Lupe said anything after that. But I mean, you know, They reconcile, but again, it's like I miss the early 2000s days when the beef was eternal. If I ever see T.I. and Lil Flip take a picture together, I'm just gonna. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I just saw Lil Flip and Slim Thug in a video together. They're
freestyling
together, and I was like, damn. How did that?
Even when Chamillionaire and Paul Wall got back together, I'm like, man, I thought that shit was forever. What are y'all doing?
I want to see that. I heard there's going to be a tour next year with Slim Thug, Mike Jones, and Paul Wall. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, Chamillionaire need to come out. He need to just come out for that tour. Like, I know you make more money investing in tech. But come on, man. Do it for the culture.
Have y'all went to any of those retro tours? Like, they sound like great ideas, but I feel like if I go, I'll be mad disappointed.
Well, the 50 Cent 50 one I heard was good.
The 50 was good.
I mean, this is a different genre. The While We Were Young tour I hear does really well with all the old
punk rock bands?
Yeah, the punk rock bands and shit like that. I don't mind. I don't know what the audience is in 2024 for a still tipping tour is.
Me neither. But then Juvenile just had a show in LA on Friday.
Yeah,
that shit was popping.
Wow.
I didn't go, but I saw a video. I was like, this shit look lit. Manny Fresh band playing.
Oh, Manny Fresh was there.
Yeah, Manny Fresh
there.
in the band. Yeah.
Manny Fresh is there. I'm there, but I think that like that. I feel like some of that stuff is different because like the Chamillionaire and Paul Wall thing was like clearly over. They were young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were young. Slim Thug said he was gonna on his first album. He said he's gonna pop him with the steel, and then remember the ad-lib was Lil Flip.
Yeah,
I was like, yo, what?
Nah, that was real beef. I got like a DVD right now where Slim Thug is going off on Lil Flip.
It was crazy. Like Lil Flip had probably the most beefs in the world at that time. It was him and 50 Cent. Everybody hated Lil Flip over Sunshine for no reason.
Nah, you know what it was? He was like the first rapper to start like the young rapper to start popping out of the Houston scene. And he didn't pull back.
Right.
He was just arrogant. I'm the freestyle king. I'm Lil Flip. He wearing a leprechaun suit. And he just did not. He went, instead of like looking back at the scene, he went to New York and fucked with Dipset and West Coast and fucked with people out here at Game. And they just always look down on that. So
I love how like every 4 months the kids discover beef. The old beef DVD.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
They were running back Chingy and Nelly. I'm like, yo, I damn near know this word for word because I have Nelly saying, yo, you city don't move, over there don't move, it's over. it's like a meme to me, and I'm like, yo, y'all just hear. Wait till y'all see Beef 3. Like,
T.I. Little Flip beef. That's my daddy.
T.I.
bring
one's
your
crazy.
punk ass down to the stage. Like, yo, I love that's like my youth. I love that shit. We bring all that back. Well, the problem is now these little kids be actually shooting and killing each other. So
The beef is on Academics page. It's on.
No, it's just it's on IG Live.
Yeah,
that's where it is. They just go straight to IG Live, straight to the story.
Yeah, like
yo, I might just not be gangster enough. I'm too dad and all that shit now. But to have two like real life ops and then to get on Instagram Live and just scream at each other, like I'm like, yo, this is new. This is just beyond me. I'm just old now.
Soulja Boy Blueface.
Yeah. What was the one before Soulja Boy? Soulja Boy is someone else, the classic one.
Quavo, wasn't it?
Nah, Soulja Boy is somebody on live. Who was that?
Was it Bow Wow?
They're about to fight.
So was it Soulja Boy Chris Brown?
Nah, man.
I mean, I could name a bunch
Mark
of
should know this one, man. It was like a couple years ago. Soulja Boy is somebody on live.
Wait, went to the
it was Famous Dex.
Famous Dex.
It was Famous Dex.
That's classic, yeah.
But they were just going back and forth.
Oh my gosh.
This one was definitely more ridiculous. He told Blueface, yo, let's meet up somewhere and die. Like right now. I was like, yo, what are you doing?
Nah, that was just on, like, he was just on his story saying that. The Soulja Boy Famous Dex one was crazy. I remember he had his hands up. That's the man. It's crazy.
But it's like we seeing hip hop beef with like real lyricists, and that's kind of what I miss. Like real lyricists don't really pop off in the way that Lupe. Well, Kid Cudi's not a real lyricist, but it's gonna get to like the point where I'm talking about too. Is that another thing that got staticky this week was the Drake and Mos Def thing, and it goes to what Bands was saying a couple of minutes ago about. You know, and even what Josh was saying, like the new school versus the old school. This has been something that's as old as, it's Taylor's old time. Like new school versus old school. Mos Def's doing an interview. Not sure what the platform is. Apologies for that. I only saw the clip on Twitter, just like everyone. That's also fucked up too. Is that we see these clips out of context so often that we don't even know. I
have a lot of thoughts on this too. I'm gonna find the platform right now.
But so Mos Def is asked about just this current state of hip hop, and he mentions that Drake is pop. And he said, this is something that you listen to while you're in Target or while you're in like a chain big box department store. This isn't real hip hop. And it caused, of course, whenever you put Drake plus anything, someone's going to side with the anything. It could be Drake plus Trump, and they're going to side with Trump over Drake. It could be Drake plus fucking anything, and they're going to side with anything over Drake. So, of course, you have people who, you look at their profile pictures. I'm sorry, you've never listened to Mos Def in your fucking life. You are 22 years old. You've never listened to Mos Def in your life. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. And now it's become this conversation where it's like, what is the real definition of real hip hop and what is popping? Is what Drake doing pop? And I think that is interesting because Drake has actually addressed this a couple times. He did it on a French Montana song. He said, "Rap's so good that I went pop." All this other thing. He's actually mentioned and addressed the fact that like he has crossed over into another lane that he did not mean to. Yeah. And now we're getting this conversation come up again almost 15 years into his tenure on top.
Yeah. The podcast is called The Cutting Room Floor.
Okay.
I forget the young lady's name, but I mean, all in all, I think the question was just a setup.
Yeah.
And honestly, like it was just a clear setup. And I honestly don't even think Mos Def's response was that bad. Mm-hmm. I think, just clipped up in the context and how it moved across the internet, it looked bad. But yeah, hip hop is pop.
Yeah.
Mos Def, Miss Fat Booty is pop. Like straight up, that's a song you might hear in Starbucks. Like, honestly, like if we comparing it to shopping as he did, I think the culture as a whole is moving into a new stratosphere, and Drake is moving it to that.
Yeah,
he's the forefront of that at least. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I think just the response around it and the conversation around it is just the wrong type of conversation. It's not really Drake. It's just where music is currently, hip hop music at least.
Right.
So yeah, I think it was just like a setup from the jump. I definitely don't think Mos Def feels no type of way towards Drake. He was kind of making melodic rap before Drake.
Yeah.
I think if he could be in this era, he would probably be making the same exact records as Drake. He would make an Afrobeats record. Like honestly, like if Mos Def was an active rapper in Drake's generation, they would be very much close. Yeah, they'd be closer to each other than Mos Def to Future or someone else. Yeah.
So
it's an interesting convo. It's an overplayed convo. It's like, I'm tired of it at this point.
I just think this type of stuff gets out. It gets to the people. You see how much engagement it gets on social.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a whole different conversation that I don't think Mos himself even got to. And then, of course, it reaches Drake, who sees everything. But I think Drake sees it from the commenter point of view and not from the actual thing being said.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he sees it from the conversation point of view.
Yeah.
From what's going on. It's like, he sees it and he's like, okay, like, I'm at the top of my game.
Mm-hmm. He's also ready to respond to everybody right now.
That's my thing. I'm at the top of my game. The forefathers who I respect and respected feel some type of way because I've gotten to the top of my game. So yeah, I'm gonna be petty.
Yeah.
I have no qualms with that.
Yeah.
I think, for him, it's kind of like, I mean, I don't know, I can't speak for him, but I feel like he's a little bit disappointed by the people before him. Mm. I think besides Jay-Z, no, there's not a ton of rappers, or Jim Jones. There's not a ton of old rappers who went back and been like, yo, respect for what you've brought to the game, respect for where you've taken the game.
I think the only person I could think of off top, even from his own town, is like Cardinal Officials has given him love, showed him love before, but then it's like Common's giving him shots.
Yeah, everybody has.
Everyone's throwing shots at him.
It's a shots from dudes who's like, bro, you shouldn't even be sending this shot. Like Common's another one. If you were in this generation, you would be close to Drake.
Yeah, you'd be Drake.
It usually comes after they're rocking with him too, right? They're trying to put a move together. They're trying to do whatever. It's tough. I mean, we've heard him in records just kind of be dismissive of the whole idea. Like you mentioned, like, I just rapped and it went pop, and he got what is it on I forget the joint, Emotionless. He's like, y'all want a classic, but that's just 10 of these. Like, he minimizes the idea of the mold y'all have created for a hip hop star or whatever. But it's funny because he also does all the shit that we want our rappers to do. He raps with the young dudes. He trades bars. He's working with the new young producers. He's beefing left and right. He's literally battle rapping the rap gods, right? He literally gave Common, who made I Used to Love Her 32 bars, like just right at his neck. And then did more, like, so.
You remember that response that Common did when he called him Canada Dry?
Yeah. So it's like, yo.
That's when I knew it was over.
He is, like, hip hop is this broad definition, right? It includes graffiti and it includes breakdancing and all this shit. And then to make him the poster child of it because he's just OD popular is crazy. And it's funny because then Jay will step up and be like, oh, I fuck with him. And I believe Nas has spoken up for him. And we always post that clip with DMX, but then DMX ended up like taking the bag to also let him sample his shit. So it's like a whole thing. He just doesn't look like the rappers looked like when we were kids. Yeah. And I always say, like, there was a prototype for a rapper. You'd be coolest, toughest, gangstest dude in the room for the longest, and then Kanye showed up. Yeah. And Kanye was like, yo, I'm kind of a dork, and I'm really just learning how to rap, and I'm just, like, begging a Cameron to let me rap for him, and it from there, it forever changed what a rapper was, and then Wayne Kid's Baby, and then everything, then Rick Ross was the CO, and then now it's just like, yo, it's wrestling. Yeah. But, like,
rap is anything.
Yeah. Literally. But, like, older dudes were not appreciating it. I don't appreciate it half the time. But I look at Drake as like somebody who does all the shit. Drake and Cole do a lot of the same shit. And then we cheer on Cole like, oh, he's killing all the features. He's the fucking man. And then Drake does this like, yo, why is Drake rapping with that guy? Like, he's trying to ride the wave. Oh, how corny. And then it's like, what does he do with Yeet? But we're supposed to appreciate that type of shit. I thought we did. Yeah. We did when it was Jay. When Jay was tapping in with the streets. When Jay went and fucked up Ha. It was like, yo, at least he knows who Juvenile is.
Yeah, man, exactly.
The South loved Ha, bro. Like, that remix killed it. Like,
did it?
Yeah. Like,
I don't think the remix was that well received.
Well, back in the day, like, where I'm, like, in Virginia, they fucked with it.
You already said they fucked up. He went and fucked up.
I know it sucked, but again, like, you gotta look at it where he was at. Then he was just like, how the fuck I rap on a beat like this? Like,
bruh, that beat was whooping his ass. It was crazy.
To hear Jay lose a beat was like, whoa, shit.
Yeah. I Got the Keys.
He got to come back and redo that. I Got the Keys wasn't that bad. I think he got to come back and do high again. Like, he got to.
Losing flow as you age as a rapper is like crazy because it's like, yo, the hi hats is still in the same place, dog. dog. Like just rhyme on the 2 and the 4, big homie. But like just like he's getting his own shit
but
off.
Jay still gets his young rapper clout. I guess he can't really get that no more off Drake because Drake's kind of like an elder statesman. But he got that from being on so many Drake albums. I don't think anyone's been on more Drake albums than he has. He's been on like 4 of them.
That's the crazy part. I was talking about that recently. Like, man, I wish Drake and Jay would just like go bar for bar and just really do that. And they have. They were on Scorpion. He was on CLB. Yeah. Like they literally went bar for bar on Scorpion. They traded verses and they were like trying to get their shit off. I like that song a lot. Some people don't like it. Jay got the Zimmerman bar off, but they've done that shit his whole career and they have this really weird respect between the two of them. And it's like, it's funny whenever Drake wants to diss Kanye, he'll exclude Jay. When he was talking about the throne, it should be 3 of us and all this shit and watch it for the taking and blah, blah, blah. All these little shots. And even when he said, yo, I've traded shots with the GOAT and then laughed about it or whatever he said, there's always been this healthy respect. I think Jay, from where Jay is, understands like, yo, it's hard to do what that dude did. Like to just Michael Jackson numbers. Like however you feel about streaming and all that shit. Jay cared about that shit too. He made a whole promo run on the Beatles. Yeah. So Jay is sitting there like, we're talking about the dude, and these are the GOATs. But we're talking about the dude who pre-sold like 3 albums in a row just to make sure the numbers matched his status of Jay-Z. And it's like, he cares about that shit. So he looks over there and goes, hey, I see what you're doing. He'll minimize them, though, and make sure he lets them know, like, you still a little homie, but
he'll might care about it. I think he low-key still might care about it more than Drake does at this point. I mean, Drake would put an album out and put no videos out for it.
I think it's a big part of why Jay hasn't dropped. He can say all the artistic shit he wants, but if Jay drops and does 80K, it just kills all of the allure, right?
I mean, shit, what did 444 do?
444 did like 200. Hey, fact check that, Mark. Let's see.
I really don't. I think Jay is at the point where it's like art. Like even thinking about the Jay-Z D'Angelo. Has anyone even listened to it yet?
I have not.
It's out. Yo, I heard 9-minute song and I'm like, I don't think I want to hear that.
Yeah. Is it 9 minutes of him just rapping?
I haven't. No,
no. They said it's 30 seconds of Jay rapping.
Yeah, it's like
9 minutes of D'Angelo.
We said that in the group chat immediately. Like, I bet you there's a 6-minute outro of this shit, some violin or something. It's not 9 minutes of Jay bars. There's no fucking way.
444 also did 262,000 first week.
Okay,
good numbers, respectable numbers. Yeah, Jay can't come out and do 85 though. There's just no way.
I mean, he has an album coming. I truly, truly believe. I haven't heard confirmed anything yet, but there was like some type of thing that went up for auction, and there was like a CD for like.
That was missing.
Yeah.
I saw
it. It was the museum thing, and it was like this entire collection of all his albums, and there was an empty one at the end of it.
The museum looked good. I wish I could have. I could have went to that. I think it ended in December.
My dumbass lives out here and didn't go. I'll regret it for a long time.
Yeah, that's super dope.
The lines were crazy long though, so I don't blame you.
Yeah, I heard it was solid though. I was gonna go there last weekend. I'm like, oh, it's probably gonna be ridiculous, and I just never made it. I should have made it, but like, I love the idea of 50-year-old Jay dropping an album.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna ask, like, are we ready to listen to a 50-year-old rapper? It's unprecedented.
Are we listening to Nas?
No. But I wasn't listening to Nas before, like, so that's not a diss. But Jay still has like this aura about him. I will say this: I don't like this era of Jay-Z and Beyonce where they're just like deities and they're just above us in every way and remind us constantly. So somebody was on Threads today about the Hove did verse.
That's crazy. You're on Threads.
Yo, that's the best shit. Shout out Threads.
That's a wild reference.
Took me to the in-season tournament.
Josh had to remember what Threads was just now.
I almost said Twitter, and I had to think it. And
why are you still on Threads? Because actually, Mark had mentioned that to me yesterday, and he was like, "Yeah, like bands be on Threads all the time." I was like, "That's
Threads is popping."
That's because
I can get my shit off and leave. Like y'all know, Twitter is like I could be like, "Yo, what's up, Mark?" And then I'm gonna get 20 mentions about KD and the Suns and all this shit. So I can get my shit off and leave. Like, you know, that's like a part of your brain. Like I have to release this really random dumb thought or it's going to sit there and bother me. Yeah. If I don't have that outlet on Twitter, I need it somewhere. So, but dude say, yo, the guy did verse was crazy. And I'm like, dog, I'm tired of Jay telling me like, he's just like financially situated for generations and that we shouldn't trust Billboard and the Grammys. Like, yo, you either got to turn the clock back, big homie, or you got to tell me some cool shit. Because I get it. Like, yeah, fuck the system, but let's go. I mean, you also sell me all kind of shit at all times. So, like, but like, I was thinking, I was thinking about Magna Carta Holy Grail, and I'm like,
oh my God, what? Can we talk about that?
I said, yo, he kicked a lot of shit on here that was, I hate this phrase, but it was ahead of his time. Like when he was getting in his artsy art collector shit, and now all my favorite people were at Basel every year partying. I'm like, oh, y'all fucking, now y'all know who Basquiat is. Oh, okay, I see what's going on.
Jay has sold us so much shit in the past decade. Magna Carta was the beginning of that. I remember the premiere of the Justin Timberlake accompanied title track off that. And I was like, this sounds like some Broadway type
I'm not,
shit.
It's funny. I went back and listened to that album recently. I'm not mad at that album. And to your point, ahead of its time, definitely like putting this on game, which Jay always does. I feel like still to this day, God did verse. He's saying little things like putting this on game. And I get where it looks or sounds a little preachy, but I'm also like, niggas ain't, not even old, but it's like he's saying it over and over again because niggas still not picking up on it. Niggas are still doing the things that he's saying don't do.
So I was in a meeting recently and they were discussing this show they're trying to do. And the premise of the show is essentially it's like basketball players showing their art collections. Yeah. And like, I hope I'm not stepping on the idea here or whatever. But anyway, the point is our view of an art collector has changed so much. And I think, I don't want to overstate it, but I think Magna Carta Holy Grail was the beginning of that within the culture. Because when we think of art collector before, we think of like Ocean's 12, where they're fucking stealing these gigantic paintings from these old European dudes. But now it's like, yo, like Jaylen Brown has a Picasso in his house type shit. Like, you know, like Esquire's, you got Picasso in your crib. But like, now we have these 20-year-old millionaires that are like, yo, I got to get a Basquiat for my living room. You know what I mean? But Jay did kind of introduce some of those high art elements to what is here, and I think that Kanye did too with the avant-garde type shit he was doing. But
more than that
stuff was ahead of itself.
He was introducing us to stuff that appreciates over time, and I think that's what I can appreciate. No pun intended. More about what he was saying, like. He's like, oh, we got to get things that last. Yeah. He's like, Jay's always, his thing is always, I'm timeless, my verses are timeless. And it's true. Yeah. Like his verses are always timeless. I think that after a certain point, you're just kind of like, okay. Like, just so like Ben says, like, okay, bro. Like, it's almost like big homie dad talking to you. It's like, all right, bro, I get it.
And so niggas take heed. You gonna keep saying it. I mean, because like, you got to think about this shit. Like, you know, and this might sounds super whack and heavy-handed, but it's like as much jewelry as we have as a culture, niggas should have as much art and things that appreciate. Yeah, and they don't. Yeah, no,
I think there's like a new appreciation for like good watches too, not like just bust down joints. Yeah, like I think it was fuck, I'm gonna forget his name, but the Griselda dudes, they had a joint called like Investment Pieces, and they were talking about that shit. Like, it was just a bar on the hook, but. There's this idea of like, yo, the clean watch now is the better watch. Yeah. And the internet's part of that shit too. But again, that's something Jay ushered in too. Like, yo, I'm old enough to know what car to buy, but young enough not to put or old enough not to put rims on it or whatever the fuck he said. Yeah. But there's definitely like a changing of the guard with a lot of that stuff. And he is banging us over the head with it, but yeah, buy some shit that appreciates.
I think people love short-term gratification. I think we all know that. We like Jay's in for the long term. There's gonna be a generation that loves that. There's gonna be a generation like us that go back and listen to it and they're like, oh shit, he was really putting us on game. But I think that like in terms of like 50-year-old Jay-Z album, I don't know what to. Does he turn the clock back?
No, I mean I think he talks about shit that 50-year-olds want to hear. I mean honestly, just people who are maturing while being a black man in America. I think there's definitely topics you can hit on.
Don't put your kids on the verse.
My thing is, it's so
Blue
funny,
will be on the album. You shitting me?
Yeah, come on.
If Adonis got a whole song and Nori got a joint, Blue was getting her shit off. Fuck out of here.
My thing with the 50-year-old kind of marker on him and putting out the album was like, I've been listening to Big Hit lately.
Oh man,
50-year-old gang banging dads. Like we gotta just stop. We just gotta be like rapper. Like
we can't. No ageism.
Yeah, man. Because even to the Nas point, I know you probably ain't listening to it, but some of those Nas albums, they are 8. And like he 50 talking about kind of young nigga shit too. Just the way he talking about women and how he spends his money and how he makes his money. It's just kind of fly. So it's something there. The current crop of popping rappers are so detrimental and low vibrations sometimes that's like you need that balance,
Yeah.
like of someone at least if it ain't all just like positivity, at least it's just talking about some fly shit in a cool way. Nowadays, niggas just talking about how to kill somebody in a fly way. It's like I can't rock.
I hate to be the uncle on the rocking chair and shit, but
I think we all are in here.
Yo, as somebody in his late 30s who just exclusively just still wears streetwear, I don't own a tie. I don't age, like I don't get ageist with none of these guys. So when I hear Big Hit getting his shit off, I'm like, he just did a bid. He's fucking gangbanging still. Like whatever. Keep talking that shit. But like there is a lost element of kind of just saying something in rap. And it's like that's the most basic way I can say it. And it's funny because we were all like that too when we were younger, and we didn't want to hear Public Enemy and we didn't want to hear whatever the fuck, and we wanted to hear Jay get jiggy. But it's coming back around, but it's worser. I don't care. You can't convince me that there's some hidden meaning to this shit that I'm not hearing because I'm not 19. Yeah. No, it's way worser, and we watch some of these dudes record. They're just high and they're just a bar and they punch a bar and then they come back and they get higher and they punch another bar and then they just that's it. That's
the craziest shit to me is like, remember we all had the allure of like people in the booth recording, like with the mic in front of them. Now they don't even do that no more. They're next to the engineer recording the mic and then telling the engineer no, like this, like
it's bad. I just came out of a week of just being in the studio every single day with different caliber of artists from around the spectrum, and it's bad. Like it's bad.
I'm like, I look at artists now, I'm like, even Future, like I love Future. Why are you standing next to the engineer, man? Get in the booth and do it. I want that allure.
The stories of Future recording, and I think he's a GOAT. Like I think we always say the big three. I think he's the big four. I think like all that. So let me not disparage Future, but the stories of him recording and just running off 5 minutes of whatever, and then the engineer being
put it together.
Meg Thee Stallion told the story, right? He sent over like 5 minutes of just shit, and then just made a verse out of it. I'm like, what the fuck? How is this? But I believe it 100%. Like the stories of Young Thug recording, same shit. I mean, I'm talking to Alex, like, he'll do some shit, and it's like, okay, that third bar, let's keep that one. Like, what?
Yeah, those are some of my favorite videos on YouTube right now. Have you seen the videos on YouTube where people just have like, hey, this is the Young Thug with that 2015, the entire studio session, and this is 40 minutes of Thug just, and he just cleared his throat. He's doing one line, yo, run it back. And he's doing it, and then Duke comes in, but there's takes 20 minutes to do his 2 lines.
But here's my thing: there is a level to me. I think it's different. There is definitely a difference between what Thug and Future are doing and what people are doing to mimic what they saw them do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like I think there is an artistry to what Thug is doing, because what you did notice in that video, of course, I watched it, is that he was doing it in different inflections. And he was doing it in different tones, and he was saying, "I don't like that tone," because in a way, his voice was his instrument, or is his instrument.
Yeah, it's like singers.
Yeah, like
the one thing I'll say, and I don't know if this is in the topic or not, but the most detrimental thing to hip hop is Jay-Z saying he doesn't write his lyrics down.
Yes, I was gonna say this.
There it is.
I was gonna say this.
Yeah. It ruined rap.
Yeah,
it literally ruined it.
And like, it's on the same wavelength. Like, remember when Wayne killed hip hop? And it was just like, he was doing the same shit, and we got to see his studio sessions. And when he was recording Damn, and he just was high as the fuck, and just, and it was like, yo, this is how people think it works. But like, Wayne is actually crafting these. No, it's funny. Wayne is still one of the best rappers. Mm-hmm. Like, because nobody else can rap as good. Somebody was asking me that recently, like, yo, who can take the torch from Drake and Kendrick and Cole? I'm like, nobody, because none of these motherfuckers want to be that good. They just want to get in and get out and get their shit off.
And remember, Kendrick loved Carter 3. He had a song about Carter 3. So like him and Drake, they looked up to that work ethic. So even if they don't write or whatever, they look up to they were able to see Wayne in the studio doing all of that stuff.
They took the right message from that shit. Yes. And a lot of people took the wrong message. Oh, I just got to get high as fuck and say whatever. Yeah. No, because that's like Wayne, not what you...
Because Wayne, even with him, and he ruined it even worse. Like to Josh's point, Jay-Z ruined it. Fucking Wayne put the shovel on the fucking dirt and just kept tapping that bitch, because he was hyper serving us. Like Jay would give us an album a year, Wayne was hyper serving us doing that same thing, like just being like, I'm gonna go in and say whatever, and then they're gonna make a song out of it. Mac Cortez, make the song out of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so it's like there are certain artists that do have that work ethic. That's why we love Future so much. That's why we love Thug so much, because they still have that hyper fixated work ethic. But now people are just doing whatever. Like, I wanted to ask, and Josh, you probably don't have this point, but like, what was y'all's cutoff for new rappers? Like, what was your cutoff? Just like,
I don't have it. I still listen to new rappers.
It was like, Cardi for me. I thought it was Uzi, but it was Cardi.
I would have said it was Uzi, but now
Uzi was close. Like, Uzi was really close. If he didn't have the joint, what's it called, Lamborghini Dreams with Thug, that was kind of like an entry point for me, and I could kind of get it. And Uzi was like, he was like saying some shit too. Like, he would throw in some witty bars. He kind of had. He liked similes.
Yeah.
He was also like mad emotional. So it was like, I love emotional music. It was like, cool, I could rock with this. But then when I hear Cardi and it's literally just him warbling on songs and just repeating shit, and I'm like, I'm too old for this.
But Cardi 2024 is showing that he kind of a student of the game.
And it's funny because it's newer shit.
Yeah.
Like, what's that one called? It's not called Hood by Air. What is it called? The one Schoolboy Q shouted out. That was hard. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I get it. But again, we're talking about the same thing with Thug, like inflections and him using his voice as an instrument, that type of stuff.
He sounds like Thug on these songs. No,
he does. And I think that's why I like him.
Yeah.
Like, I just still old and I just like bars. Like, I just did a show. Let me plug my show real quick. I did an episode at Cetera's with Benny the Butcher. There's an album coming out next week, so the episode come out next week. Yeah, give me a sound effect somewhere. And we just sat there and was like, yo, I just still like bars. Like, I know that makes me old or whatever, but I still like when motherfuckers rap good. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And the funny enough, that led to a conversation about Cole and Drake, and like, they still care too, and we still like that shit. And they can do all the other shit, but they still want to rap good. And them dudes should not be trading bars in year 20 for 4 minutes straight. But they did, because they give a fuck. And we're just not getting that. We're just not getting that. I love Dirk, and shit, Dirk is damn near 30 now. Like, a lot of these dudes are getting older too. But I love a lot of these new dudes, and I be outside, so I hear this music, and I love Ice Spice. But like, Ice Spice is not about to trade bars with Bia. You know what I mean? And Bia can rap, but they just don't care about that competition anymore, which changes how they approach it.
Yeah, like, and when we say cutoff, I mean like the level of engagement that I have with a lot of them now. It's like I just like I'll listen and I'll be just off it. I think maybe like Gunna's good to me. I really like Gunna. Like, I can't say that's a cutoff either. Like, even when I say like, I just love hip hop so much. So like, even if I say I'm cutting it off, I can't really do that, since there's always somebody that's gonna come up later. But I wonder what's gonna be that point where we actually say like, and we talked about this before on the show, is like, who is that next guy that's willing to step up? We just haven't seen it.
No, I mean, Bands made the point earlier. This is a conversation I have daily at this point. None of these guys want to be the best.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between this generation and the Drake, Kendrick, Cole generation. They all wanted to be the best rapper. These guys just want to make money.
Fuck hoes.
It's just like, and be famous and do drugs, and like, that's just the difference of where the generation is. You know, there's a few that are promising, but they got to kind of turn that corner of like, hey, I want to be the best rapper.
Yeah.
And I just don't know if the money has clouded that.
I don't want to make it deeper than it needs to be, but it kind of is. Like, the guys we came up on, and especially the 80s and the 90s, like, it was literally the only outlet. Like, it was literally all they had, and it was their only hope. Like, when you hear some of these dudes talk about making demos and shopping around the cities, like, I think Big is a perfect example. Like, the famous story is Big and Puff. Puff is like, yo, let me work this song and we'll make it work. And Big is like, yo, I gotta go down to North Carolina. Fuck that.
Yeah.
And Big and Puff basically convinced him. But that was a literal crossroads for Big's like, dog, this is my last shot at this shit. This don't work. I'm finna go get this dope and I'm gonna bring it back and I'm gonna make this money. Like, it was the only option he had. Now it's different, where first off, there's a lower level of entry, because we can just, the four of us can make a song right now. We damn near could do it in this program and just using our iPhones. And then we got enough squeeze that shit'll get heard by enough people, and it will feel like we did something. So the barrier of entry is nothing now. Like, Big had to make that demo and find a guy who liked it. And he had to be nice enough for them to even let him record that shit to begin with and all this stuff.
And labels come to you.
It's so easy to get in now. It's so easy to pop off. Not easy, but easy enough. And it's just like, it's no longer a last resort. Now it's like, kids are 12, like I'm gonna just be a rapper, or kids are 16 dropping out of school, like fuck it, I'll just rap, like whatever. And them dudes, that's all they had. It wasn't like fuck it, I'll just rap. It's like, yo, I either gotta rap and get the fuck out of here, or I'm gonna be on the stoop and getting my shit off.
Yeah.
And so there's like different shit to it now. And like you said, they're not here to be great. They're just here to have party and kick it and get girls and get a new watch. And they don't give a fuck how long it lasts. Like they just here for a good time, not a long time. Yeah. And I talk about this with Cam, friend of all of us, all the time. Like none of these dudes want to be the best anymore. Cam was riding Lil Baby crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, Lil Baby doesn't want to be the best rapper, bro. Yeah. Like he doesn't give a fuck about being the best rapper. I don't know anybody younger than 30 that wants to be the best rapper. I don't look at any of these guys. I'm like, oh, he wants to just rap better than everybody. I don't think that exists no more.
I hope it happens this year.
Yeah.
I want to get off the hip hop train real quick, because we're talking about the new generation, and this actually connects to Drake as well. After we get off that Mos Def conversation, this guy drew walls.
Hilarious.
So this has kind of popped up in the past month or so. It wasn't really on our radar, but then like it's just became like bigger as he's done more videos. And this is a guy that does Get Ready With Me content. And if you don't know what Get Ready With Me content is, I'm pretty sure you do. It's like on TikTok, or you see it on Twitter as well. It's literally what I said. It's like people getting ready to go to sleep, getting ready to go out, getting ready to go to work. And this is the one I saw the first video when he went to Target. I believe he was the guy that went to Target, and he had the tripod. And it was like, this motherfucker put a tripod up in Target. How fucking dare him? Y'all new niggas make me sick. And I look at this type of shit, and I'm like, oh, that's fun. Like I look at it, and I don't really like get this visceral hatred.
Yeah, me neither. It's harmless. I looked at it and was just like, okay, like he doing what the white folks been doing and getting bags for. I'm like, I was like, oh yeah, get your man, get your money, black man. Like, so I
didn't feel like that in the real time though. Like you're in the middle of Target and you see the tripod just pop up, and you're just like, yo.
No, I think in the moment I'm like, the same way I just said. Like I didn't feel no type of way about it. I was like, that's weird. I wouldn't do it personally, but like if that's what he do, more power to him.
Yeah, if I saw that in Target, I'll just be like this nigga and keep it pushing. Exactly. Like I wouldn't. But you gotta understand too. Like where we live at. Like I see people recording TikTok skits on the middle of Wilshire. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I see it a lot. So it's like, exactly. I see little, teens and tweens, and I'm not really. It's normal at this point,
right?
And when the Target thing went viral, I had seen some of his shit before. Just like randomly on the timeline or just like in the Explorer. So I was like already kind of familiar to a certain degree. But yeah, it's like, come on, man.
The
content creators.
That's what it is. He did the hookah in the house and everybody.
Yeah.
The thing I hate is that everyone pointing out the little things he doesn't have. And I think that's kind of like a byproduct of like, they were like, look at his curtains. I'm like, what? Like, who cares? Like, who gives a fuck?
Where's he from?
I don't know.
I think he's in Chicago.
Okay.
So this is like the last power that Twitter has. Like if you hate something enough on Twitter, then people will notice it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm pretty sure we all did the same thing. Like I went to his account. Like, let me see the other videos. They're all this similar shit. And I'm like, TikTok is like, when you get on TikTok, you're stuck there for a good hour or two. Yeah. So I'm just scrolling through and I'm like, oh, he has a daughter. Oh, he used to hoop. Like I'm finding out all this shit about this. I'm like, this is harmless. It's funny, but it's harmless.
Yeah.
Why is everybody so mad? And I kept noticing like, there's a lot of Drake songs. And that's what I asked. So I asked and they're like, well, he's the sassy guy's God. And like, this dude didn't seem as sassy to me. He just films a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And then Drake catches on, of course, because fucking he notices everything. But like, the vitriol of Twitter is a bag now. And I knew immediately, I'm like, yo, he's going to get a Target commercial off this shit.
Oh,
he
absolutely.
should.
Yeah, no, it's coming. It's coming.
He should. And the thing is that, you touched on it there. It's like Drake did a video in his mansion in the style of a Drew Walls video.
Great. Shouted dude out and everything.
And shouted him out. And I was like, that's what, because the thing is that Drake isn't afraid to be a fan of things. He's not afraid, and I think that right now, like, it's far too often, like, people will down you for being a fan of anything now. They're like, you a dick rider. It's like damn.
I'm not even just Drake being a fan.
But I think we talked about this last time I came along. Like, people call me a dick rider because I'll root for Kevin.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, we're talking about, like, this is my brother. Am I supposed to root against him? Like, what are you talking about? When I see Josh doing some cool shit, I'm like, yo, good shit, Josh. Like, why am I supposed to hate on my friends? Y'all are fucking
tell
weird.
Josh he shot 7 of 21. Be honest with him.
But it's like, yo, you can't like anything no more. It's like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I like a lot of NBA players. I'm not riding dick, but like, yo, I like it when Jason Tatum plays. I'm sorry. He's fucking cool. Like, we don't get to like shit anymore. So I actually like this genre of content. Like, I don't know if I'm allowed to, but I like this genre of content because then I start looking at not the copycats, but just the other dudes doing the shit. And I'm like, yo, this is amusing. This is entertainment. This shit is great.
What were you about to say, John?
No, I think. Well, first we're in the era of the anti-fan.
Yeah,
it's like we have more haters than fans these days, but it's like there's definitely more people engaged. Like, you know, I used to always say, you know, 1 fan is 10 haters. Yeah. So we're in that era right now, but it's interesting, man. Like, I think more than ever, we are just like preconditioned to hate on something before we love it. Yeah. And now that Drake is on it, I bet you people love it.
I looked at. I've literally been seeing people shout out to my mans. If I were to go onto, if I were to search their Twitter name and his name, they probably would have been shitting on him 2 weeks ago if they didn't delete the tweet. Like,
someone personally we know shitted on it at first, and now it's bigging it up, and I'm like, yo, I can't believe you.
I got my jokes off too. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there's a clip on my shit. That's another one. Like, the dude jogged across the street to go to his restaurant and then jogged back. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, crazy. I got my shit off too, but yeah, like, it's harmless. Like, that's what I keep going back to. It's harmless. Like, dog is literally just brushing his daughter's hair and making smoothies, and I'm like, oh, that's the daughter. Why the fuck? Shit, if anything, why the fuck did I just spend 60 seconds watching this shit?
The amount of people calling this dude all types of names for just brushing his daughter's hair, that one clip was crazy. I remember that one. And they were like, then the women like, he doing it wrong. I'm like, damn, we can't do no way.
He's doing it wrong as a man trying to do his daughter hair. Like, what you think?
I put that on the list of things men not allowed to do, bro. Brush your daughter hair is one of them, bro.
Yo, I'm starting to hate the internet. Well, not starting to. I hate the internet. I'm starting to hate it more because y'all know y'all exist in real life. So let me tell you 2 things about to happen to this dude now. And they are already happening because he's done an NFL campaign. Yep. He's done an ESPN campaign. Yep. NBA shouted him out. Shout out to social media managers out there, by the way. I hate when y'all call them interns because they're the ones who watch that shit and then immediately posted that shit on, I think the Panthers did it first, and they're like getting ready for the game and he's clapping it up. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers is smart because y'all got right to it. So shout out to them. But he's getting campaigns now. Drake shout out. I'm sure he's going to have 1 million TikTok followers, whatever monetization comes with that. In the real world, all of this shit amounts to money. Yep. And y'all could call them all the corny, sassy, all this shit. I guarantee you them DMs is lit the fuck up right now. Right. He got his choice of a few. So, like, yo, he's winning. Yeah, why are we hating on him winning? There's the other dude who's like, and he's coming at it from the perspective of a content creator. He's like, oh, day in life of a content creator. And he's showing some of the stuff he's doing. And one of the videos is like, yo, he got his first couch and he's all excited. He got this new apartment. I'm like, yo, I'm like, this is dope. Like, he's coming up. Like, we're literally watching him come up TikTok by TikTok. People are laughing like, your first apartment? I'm like, dog, I don't know when y'all got your first apartment. My first apartment was a piece of shit.
Let me see
your apartment. And my couch was from Walmart. Yeah. And I was making decent money. So I'm like, yo, his first apartment is this high rise in Houston. Like, get off dick. Like, what are you talking about?
They the real dick writers. They the real dick writers, though. For real. Like I could see like Tide or fucking shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a big brand being like, yo, do a Get Ready With Me commercial. We're using our products.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you, Black History Month, he will absolutely be in a Target commercial.
Oh, that'd be fine.
He has to be. If Drewski can be in a Target commercial, Dog can be in one. Yeah. Even if it's just one of those TikTok ads. You know when you're scrolling through TikTok and they making the ads that look like TikTok, at least that. Like, at least. But he should be on TV on a Target commercial, walking through that motherfucker or something.
And shout out to him, too, because I saw his whole, like, weight loss journey and things. Like, I'm like, yo, like, this dude's a real person who grinded it out and got somewhere. And I just can't imagine or just understand the hate.
He's aspirational. Yeah. And I think that's the type of content that we just don't have enough of, is aspirational content. Like, obviously it's going to become branded. It's going to become less aspirational as it goes on, because it's not going to have the same mission statement. It's not going to have the same outcome as it did before he started getting branded. But for what he has there, taking care of his daughter, smoking some hookah in his house. Peaceful activity. He could be doing anything right now. All peaceful activity. But what I wanted to ask is, when are we doing our Get Ready With Me content?
Yeah, I'm about to get mine off today. You kidding me? Like, you know, I appreciate him because he's in on the joke. Like one of the more recent TikToks is out with his friends and they're like, y'all know Drew Walls, just search him on Twitter. So like they're clearly laughing about the shit.
Yeah.
And he's in on the joke. I wanted to reach out early, like, yo, keep rocking, whatever. I didn't, and now it's way too late. So now
yeah, he's gonna be like, he gonna call you a dick rider.
What
now.
the fuck are you? Yeah. But yo, I'm trying to get my content off too. What do y'all think? Y'all are content creators, y'all work in entertainment, y'all work all over the space. I was just reading some article that like I super related to because I'm like, social media is weird now. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's not funny.
And what it all boils down to, it's funny because that article came out in October and I just found it now. Yeah. But what it all boils down to is everything is so commodified now. So y'all make content and you know how the bell curve of that goes. You're making it because you just want to get your shit off. You have creative ideas, and then it gets to a place where it's worth something, and a brand comes in or whatever, and it just changes from there. And even if you try to maintain your creativity, it's all about branding at some point and making money off it. I feel like so much of content it's either already there or it's people making it with that in mind of like, I watch people do hauls of shit they bought, you know what I mean? And I think those kind of like haul videos started as, yo, Fashion Nova sent me this box of 87 t-shirts. And now it's like, yo, I bought all this shit. Let me show y'all what I got. But they're emulating that style of content.
Yep.
Is it just me being old content annoyed guy, or do y'all feel that way too? And then do y'all have issues with that when you have to make stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I could start. I think I love that you made that correlation between like, unboxings to hauls. That was definitely like, the hauls are like the very much the fan version of an unboxing. Mm-hmm. And but it's crazy though, because that leads to the unboxing. Like that's how you kind of get it. So I get that cycle or ecosystem of just branded content. For me, I think I'll probably never be the Get Ready With Me unboxing haul kind of guy. Like it's never.
You be getting that shit off.
Get Ready With Me.
Both of y'all should be getting that shit off.
Bro, Josh Get Ready With Me would be fire.
It would be, but you know what it is for me? I don't want to put people on my spots, so you can't know where I'm going. Like I don't want to like.
Tell us spin your house. Spin your house.
Yeah, for me, it's like, I don't know. I'm just private in that way. Like I don't even want to show people like my art or my like. It would be dope. I'll appreciate it, but you gotta like come into my space to see that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think for me, the way consumerism and branded content looks like for what I do, it's just them kind of like relating to the message and sponsoring it in a certain type of way. Like I'm not beneath doing an ad, but I can't see myself just being like. I can't like, make sure you use Tide because this is what I use. It's just like, nah, I could definitely do an ad, but I can't see myself being like, use what I use. This is it. Like it's a difference, I think. And I don't know. I don't see myself there just yet. Like, but I love doing this. I love talking about things, and if a brand sees this and it's like, hey, we want to sponsor that content, great. But I don't know. I just don't even have the energy to kind of be doing all that and editing videos. It's hard work. These content creators, it's hard work. And even just the people who aren't getting paid for it yet, they're putting a lot of man hours into creating these videos. Yeah. So I don't know if I have that yet.
I envy those people who are really good at capturing moments, even if they're not creating content, but like people who just go out and can consistently like make sure they capture the moment. They get the food, they get the walk into the shit, they get all the videos of all the cool shit. Because I'm so like, and I'm a person who's on their phone a lot, but I'm not on my phone grabbing shit. I'm on my phone consuming shit.
Yeah.
And so I envy the people who have that kind of muscle memory to do that. Mm-hmm. I think that's the part for me. Like I probably do all this shit too. Like, cause I enjoy this content. I don't enjoy the technical making of it in that sense. And so many people love that shit. Yeah. They love to film when they go to a concert and get all the videos and then chop it up and make it a thing. And I'm as somebody who's trying to make TikToks and have people telling me, yo, you got to be on here. It's going to help and all this shit. The time it takes to sit there and chop these videos up and get them in an order and put text on them and all that shit. Like, I can't believe people do this like for fun.
Yeah.
But again, like I envy those people who are able to capture all these moments, even if it's not for content. It's just like later on in life to go, yo, I went to the Drake and 21 show and this is I put this thing together. Like I just don't have that muscle. I guess.
I think that, and we talked about this before. We had a long conversation about this, Bands, just about like this show and what we do here. Like, I look at BlkPrint right now as like we're at the beginning. We're like going up on the, you know what I'm saying, on the roller coaster right now. Like, it's very much like we're still able to kind of touch on certain subjects that like I feel like if we were to be commodified or brand came, we'd have to switch it up a little bit. Like, there's certain shows that don't have to do that. Like,
well, that's the thing. And I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
it's like, yo, if I have to switch it up for your brand, then you're probably not the right partner.
Yeah. Like we're still
have some edge.
We're still early enough in the game where this is all like there's still new stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's still things about that we still finding out. There's still things and topics that we touch on that I feel like I haven't talked about on live on a microphone before. You know what I'm saying? That we're still able to do that. You know what I mean? And I think that there's that excitement inherently that comes from creating content in that way, that it doesn't feel like a drag to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I also do a wrestling show every single week for 300 weeks straight. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like never took a break until literally like 2-3 weeks ago. You know what I mean? So like I'm old, I guess you could say old guard content, where it's like we just kind of did it and we just cranked it out, because I've been doing podcasts for almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It'll be 10 years in like September. You know what I mean? Where I'm just doing it.
I just watched this video. What's the tech guy's name? The black tech guy.
Marcus
Brown. Yeah. He just did a video about people quitting YouTube, and he was kind of breaking a lot of these same concepts down. And he's somebody who was literally just making videos on his phone at one point, and then now he's personally invited to the Apple event.
Yeah.
And
they're shouting him out. They're shouting him out in the event.
They shout him out on stage. You know what I mean? So like, he's somebody who, like, I enjoy that type of shit. I enjoyed people coming up like that and grinding their way out and stuff like that. But even he was talking about how like he reached that point where, he's losing some of the creativity. And then he was talking about when you add help and having to let go of some of that. And like he broke it down really well. And it's just like, we're so programmed now to create content in whatever way, you know what I mean? And we all do it. And like even the most like private off social media person I know in my life, they're the same way.
Right.
The camera has to eat first and all this stuff. Like I joke around like I want to get a flip phone hella bad. I don't know if I could survive, but I do think we're going to zag as a culture soon, and people are going to want to detach way more. And it's just become too much and too all consuming. Like all of our hobbies are consuming content.
Yeah.
Like and even the ones where like the people I play basketball with, they're making content. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're just programmed to do that.
They got the phone set up on the sideline.
I went to a run recently, multiple tripods, different spots in the gym. I'm like, I'm not guarding none of y'all. Like, I'm not fucking with none of this shit y'all talking about right now. I'm guilty of it too. I'm the guy who will email the photographer afterwards. Yo, can you send me them pics? You told me to send me. Because like we're all guilty of it, but like there's a part of me that says this is kind of fucked up. Like, and it's like my kids, they're teenagers. They're like the Instagram page with no pictures. And I'm like, is that the new wave now?
Yes.
Like that the new shit?
It's no pictures, but thousands of followers is like the new, like my little brother had Instagram. His Instagram had like one photo, but he had 9,000 followers. I said, how the fuck?
Yeah, that's definitely the thing. They're very IG heavy. The kids are still using Snapchat.
Yeah, probably
using Snapchat a little bit more than
adults are.
Yeah, millennials are.
Yeah, they're definitely on Snap, and I think it's Snap is like a secret society. Like I view Snap. I don't think I've posted on Snap in years.
Right.
But I view Snap because it's like interesting content. And Instagram tried to get that because there's something to like content that expires, right?
Yeah.
And then
FOMO is what you're getting at.
It's the level of secrecy to that too. And Instagram tried it and I think they took it. But like, yeah, like we're all content creators now and it's kind of ruined the idea of content creations. Like,
yeah.
I think about this shit way too much and way too deeply, I'm sure. But I think about it all the time. Like, it just because it's the way we consume the world.